previously said that if pro-independence parties got 50% plus one of the votes cast in an election, that would be an instruction that you would expect the UK government to say, OK, we can talk about independence now. Now, why do you think they would do that? Because Labour and the Conservatives have repeatedly said they couldn't see a general election as a vote for independence. It's not the same as a referendum.
Well, it is the same as a referendum if you think about it, in terms of the fact that it's the ballot box. So that's a perfectly normal way for, to test the will of what the public is. My opponents in this contest are setting out a system where they are going to have an election that's based on independence, and they're going to use that as what they're calling it, like a moral mandate, to go back to Westminster and to ask them again for another referendum. And we know that's not going to happen. The London government's been very clear that it doesn't think it's going to agree to have a referendum anytime soon. We know this. So I don't think that's the way to go about this. What Westminster is doing at the moment is it's trying to stop Scotland expressing its democratic will. I think that's not tenable. I don't think that's credible. So what I'm suggesting is that the gold standard here, in fact, is not a referendum. The gold standard here is the ballot box. So I'm proposing that we give the power over when Scotland should become an independent country, and that it's not anything to do really with what Westminster think. It's not even to do with what I think. This is a question for the people of Scotland.
But how would you
and we should give that power to the people of Scotland?
Because as the law stands, there is no connection between the results of a general election and Scotland becoming an independent country. So how practically would you make it happen?
So what I'm suggesting is that we run each and every election in Scotland, so that would be the general elections and also the Scottish elections, as a test of public opinion, for a trigger point, if you like. And if we get the majority of votes cast, and let's just remember that this is a previous SNP policy that used to be accepted by the London government as entirely legitimate.
Well, no, it's accepted in the context of a referendum. It's never been accepted in the context of a general election.
This was a previous SNP policy that if we got the majority, I think previously it was a majority of seats, but I'm making it a slightly tougher test and saying that it should be the majority of votes cast.